Yes, a very good afternoon and welcome to Community Voices Uganda here on Civic Space TV. I am Philip Melissa. On this show, we take a closer look at issues shaping our communities, and tonight we dive into the heart of Kampala, looking at the Nakivubo drainage channel, a vital lifeline for the environment of the city that has turned into a very serious headache when you look at the people that do their business in the city, people that live in the city, people that transit through the city. The Nachivo channel has become a center of either opportunity, but mostly challenges recently when you look at its management, when you look at the pollution around it, when you look at the flooding around it, whenever it rains. And here in this episode, we want to make sense of why actually that is the situation for a drainage channel that was developed many years ago to manage flooding in the city. And now we see that the problem has persisted, if not worsened. And certainly my panel today will assist me in making sense of why we have that problem. But two, who is to blame, who should correct this, and certainly what is the way forward for the future so that we can have a city that serves its people. My name is Philip Melissa, and I'm very privileged this afternoon to host a panel of distinguished citizens of this country, Uganda, but also people that have a very, very good understanding of the city, how it runs, how it looks like, and they are also exposed as to how cities should be running, cities should be operating from their experience from other cities world over. And I will invite them to say hello to you, my viewers, before we get on to the depth of the conversation. I'll begin with you, Mr. Goodluck Sings. Goodluck is a journalist and he specializes a lot in health reporting. Good luck, greetings, and welcome to the conversation.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, the viewers. And yes, we thank God for another day to speak about these issues that concern us. Like I always say, I'm near Lake Victoria. I'm in Kampala. The weather is good, and for me, I can't I can't do anything without thanking God for that. Yes, maybe elections here and there, but life continues. Interestingly, the year is ending.
All right. Thank you so much. Good luck for joining us. And since the weather is good, we suspect that everyone is able to go along with their business as should be. Thank you for joining us, and we'll wait to hear what you'll share with us during the course of the conversation. I also have a leader from within the city. He's a member of the National Unity Platform. He's a councillor for Kasubi Kawala at the KCCA. He is a youth leader from Rubaga North, again under the National Unity Platform, and that is Mr. Waswa Ibra Semanda. Mr. Semanda, greetings, welcome to the conversation, and how is where you are?
Thank you so much, my brother. I'm Waswa Ibra, and I'm the area councillor from Kawala, that's the parish in Rubaga division, KCCA. And I'm also an activist, an advocate, and a journalist under the leadership of the National Unity Platform. I'm happy to be on this space, and I'm glad that we'll be sharing views, ideas for our city and Uganda at large.
Thank you so much, Comrade Samantha, for joining us. And I will start with you, given you are a leader within the city. I want to understand, because especially when you look at the matter we have to talk about today, the Nakivubo channel, there is a lot around it. Recently, it is under development by Mr. Hamis Chigundu, here, a businessman here in the city. But largely, when you look at the conversation that has gone on around this issue, to begin with, the Lord Mayor told us that it is you, the councillors, that sat and agreed that Mr. Hamis Chigundu should take on the development of this property, which he says it was a wrong decision to make. You will tell us your position on that. But two, when you, the leaders of the city, are seated in your different councils and the different committees you sit in the different offices you sit in, what sort of conversation goes on as regards the order, the organization, the structure, the planning of Kampala City? Because you will agree with me that we have a lot of disorganization in the city. It is not just the channel, it is a lot of things. When you move across the streets, you will find garbage somewhere. When you look at the constructions going on, you will see people constructing in the road. And these are things that keep happening in the city. What of conversations and engagements do you leaders have for Kampala?
Thank you so much once again, my brother. Uh, Thank you so much, my brother, for this opportunity, and I want to talk about the issues in our city, and what's going on exactly. Well, I want to correct you, my brother, about the Lord Mayor's statement on the issue of Nakivubo channel. Many people were concerned about how Mr. Amis Gundu got access
So
to the
maybe if you
Nakivubo.
allow me, just briefly, I think you have a bit of serious background noise that is affecting your communication. I don't know if there is something we can do around that. Yes, yes, and as he tries to settle that issue there, because we want to be able to get him so clear, so well as we continue with the conversation, we shall be hearing from him as he
Thank you so
reconnects
much,
with
my
us.
brother. Yeah, you see, I've been with my brother, Honorable Kiretanya from Kalongo East, has been coordinating with these teams. So we are going to the field to see how we can campaign for him. So I wish one day you host him to this place. Thank you so much, my
Mm,
brother. So I've been telling you, my
thanks to
brother, how
him.
Mr. Hamis Kigundu got access for Nakivubo channel. I don't want to argue with the road mayor because when you see the amendment of KCCA 2010, Kampala was directly put under the office of the president under the amendment of KCCA. So with that effect, my brother, you see that the directive was from the head of the executive, giving Mr. Hamis Kigundu permission to develop Nakivubo channel. You see, my brother, we have the leadership of Kampala. We have 5 divisions in Kampala. We have Machinge, we have Lubaga, we have Kampala Central, we have Nakawa, and the Lord Mayor. All those leaders, in my view, we are concerned, are responsible, even actually are accountable for the development of the city. But unfortunately, when I told you that Kampala was taken to under the office of the president, we have been yearning for powers into those local governments. Mr. Hamis Tugund got an access to develop Nakivubo channel without any proper planning. Kampala contributes the bigger percentage to the national budget, but when you look at the money
Mm,
allocated to Kampala, little money. You get my brother. Even I want to remind you the steps taken by Kosase to investigate the matter, how Ham got access to develop Nakivubo channel. But unfortunately, the Speaker of Parliament
mm,
intervened and directed the COSASE to stop investigating that matter. So, we that issue, my brother, there is a leadership crisis in Kampala. We thought that it must be the issue of rule of law, who is to handle which matter. So, the issue of Nakivubo channel is not only in Kampala Central. If it rains in Kampala, in fact, every part of the city, you may see floods everywhere. So I want to bring your attention, my brother Melissa and other colleagues on this space, because we need institutions to function. Each each institution, for example, Kampala Capital City Authority has the Lord Mayor, has the Authority Council, there is a minister, there is RCC and so on. But it's very unfortunate that the council cannot have those powers for full control of the city. But you must see the directive from the office of the president and the other entities. So I personally, not the issue of Nakivubo channel, we have been having many cases in Kampala concerning the development of the city, but you may find that the leaders in Kampala are not are not in charge in making decisions for the development of the city. So I think there is power struggle. The leaders of Kampala, for them, they have contribute for the development. But I think they are the head of the executive and the other foreign hands. They have interest in Kampala, which we don't know. But the people of Kampala need service delivery and other
Oh,
sectors.
all right. Thank you so much, Mr. Samanda, for that. And you tried to paint for us a picture of what it looks like, but also you raised the issue of power struggles, and we're going to discuss that a little more as we proceed with the conversation. But I want to hear from you, good luck. Look, you have lived in this city, you have walked through this city, and first of all, how would you rate this beautiful capital city of ours in terms of the standard of what a capital city should look like? But two, some of these challenges that keep persistent on our city, including now when you look at that channel, 2-3 days ago, it rained down here in Kampala, and the channel itself, but also the outskirts, there was flooding everywhere. Buildings, neighborhood to the channel were filled up with water. People's businesses got damaged. People's vehicles got damaged. Vehicles could not move. Why do we get to see this in the capital city of ours?
I think you really ask a question that sort of makes me a bit of emotional, because I don't know whether it's us the problem, because humanity is there. In other countries, people are there to solve problems. And to those, the leaders are elected to go and supervise the technical people on our behalf. And therefore, when you say we have a city, I think for me, I don't know whether we even, we have bare minimum. I don't know. And so, bad? Yeah, for me, it's that bad. When you know, recently there was a storm near where I stay, and somehow I said, let me wait. I go when it has, I left when it had gone down. On tarmac, people threw, I don't know how these people opened their homes, but everybody threw sewage. There was sewage, but there was also garbage in the middle of the road on a good new tarmac. As I went and returned, I said, there is a problem. And so for me, I really, when we say we have a city, I think that I'm so sorry. Okay, this is my opinion. And from your question, if you had asked maybe different, I would have said maybe we have a Kampala city. But I always ask, with the few money they get, because they are saying less, all the time, money. I don't know from Kololo where, I don't know, do we have any street that is worth, that is, that, you know, has all the facility that, you know, you would bring a visitor? If you got a visitor and you say, okay, the other parts you can avoid, but at least I was in Johannesburg. I went to Soweto. Soweto is the place where, you know, apartheid and all those things. But that place, that's where Mandela and Bishop Tutu or something like that lived. So there is a street that brings Johannesburg or South Africa more money than even our national parks here. And everybody, when you visit Johannesburg, everybody says, okay, we shall go to Soweto. I want you to, it's called Vidikaz Street. So talk of like Wakaliga, they are near Wakaliga, the Kabaka from Bulange. Kabakanjagala, you go down. If that place was closed for normal traffic and maybe they divert and maybe when we have visitors, we can say, let's go there. So for me, how bad it is that you have really gotten me on the wrong one.
But what is the
So
issue?
bad.
Because good luck. You mentioned the money. You mentioned those things, but I want to find out because we have the leaders. Semanda here is one of them, but we have many of them. We have the political wing led by the Lord Mayor. We have the ministry. We have the president directly overseeing the city. We have that technical wing headed by the executive director. Is it a question of planning? Is it a question of refusing to prioritize the city? What is the actual problem?
Can you add incompetence? Can you add incompetence? Incompetence for me would start. Let me tell you what, in the 30 years I'm about to make in journalism, let me see, there's something I have seen. That's why I was telling you, is it us who are incompetent? It's as if nobody can do things and things work. Why? But that even where they have worked on a road, somebody brings garbage in the rain and pours, and life moves on. So, Mulisa, let me tell you one problem I have watched, I have seen. Decentralization versus centralization is the problem. Now, the media has made us look at decentralization as elections only. So you will have a councillor being voted, a mayor, a president, and all that. But in these local governments, when you ask them to do, let me give you an example. When we had Ebola in Kasanda, the district council of Kasanda refused to pass a supplementary budget. Because remember, central government cannot bring money and spend it in a district without it passing through the budget of the district. People were asking for 6 million per person in order, and this was an emergency. People were dying, or we are going to die, or Ebola, we had an issue. Ebola could have spread in the whole country. So for me, where the problem is the money, is the ruseke. That while we talk now, and the issue of money is really not the problem. It's the greediness, but people who come, when we see good people campaigning, promising us left and right. Me, I've gone on supervisions for especially health. And members of parliament and other leaders are asking for allowances in their places. And I can assure you, in the name of God, it is bad even to swear. We have gone to places where even district leaders have refused to come because they didn't have allowances for them. And yet when they were campaigning, Amarwaliro, I will work on this, I will work on that one, I will work on that one. So it's until when the media pokes and goes to these guys and asks them, what are you doing? Let me give you an example in Nakawa, on Butabika Road. When there was that, of roads and things were bad, the central government released 6 billion. Now, Honorable Balimwezo did something that up to now I really marvel. He went, partook part of that money from what they call Kunya, or the road that goes to Chireka, from there to Butabika. The road was being eaten, the shoulder. There's a shoulder that was eating in the road that given 2-3 years, we are now going to request for a new road. Do you know what happens? He gets part of the money, they work on the shoulder, that road is going to survive another 20 years. Now, I'm not campaigning for him, I'm not doing for what, but here I'm talking of action. That a road we would have lost a road. But part of the money came, they fixed, and I always park on that shoulder. And I am happy about that, a solution. So all these years, I have covered Kampala, I have seen what is here in Kampala. I always ask, in the 5 years, Tell us one thing that you have done with this, with the little money you are talking about. Just one issue. So that when we go in another election, maybe they also add. So for me, I end by saying we have incompetent leaders, we have incompetent, what are they called, civil servants. And even us, we even make it worse as the residents of this city. We are very dirty. We are not helping the situation. You see, Jam, nobody wants to wait for another. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Good luck for that. Oh, quite powerful and emotional, like you said. It feels that it's part of you, and I think something needs to be done. But Samanda, look, good luck here talks about the incompetence of the leaders. But earlier you mentioned that we have too many leaders, and I want to ask, for example, when it rains in Kampala, you see water running into people's shops, and that is goods worth millions of shillings getting spoiled. You see cars cannot move, and whenever the slower the traffic is, then business is not moving, people cannot reach their workplaces, people cannot get to the hospital, ambulances cannot move, and it's all a total mess. I want to ask, first of all, you the leaders of Kampala, whom you say are very many, and good luck here asks, what do you use the little money that comes to the accounts for? What does it do? But two, the disagreements that keep being manifested between amongst you, the leaders. You realize the councillors cannot agree with their mayor, the executive director cannot talk to, for example, the councillors. I don't know, members of this party cannot sit with members of the other party to plan for the city. Why can you not agree so that you deliver on the mandate you requested for from the people of Kampala?
Thank you so much, my brother. I want to appreciate the submission made by Comrade Comrade Mtunzi. Two, we need to benchmark from other cities. We want to benchmark from other cities because it's very unfortunate, my brother, to see Kampala in that 21st century looking the way it's looking now. Because I told you that Kampala contributes a bigger percentage to the national treasury. But when you look at the money allocated to go to Kampala, it's very little money, my brother. Look at the city during night. It's in total darkness. There's no light in the city. Most of the roads, the big percentage of the roads we have in Kampala are Malam roads. You can imagine. You can look at the drainage system. Many drainage channels in the city are not developed. Look at the garbage. Come and talk about garbage. Garbage is everywhere. On the road, everywhere. When it rains, people of Kampala pour garbage into those drainages. So Kampala is poorly managed. I don't know whether the resources, whether the leaders, but there is a problem. There is a leadership crisis in Kampala. There is a power struggle. The minister want to
Ibra, let me ask you, and let me ask you, because you keep saying there is a leadership crisis, there is a power struggle, and you realize much of Kampala is run by leaders from the opposition, from the National Unity Platform, from somewhere from the Forum for Democratic Change or the PFF, wherever. But many of the leaders we have are from the opposition, apart from the political appointees from the president. Are you now saying that leaders from the opposition have actually failed to deliver on their mandate to manage the city and deliver it to a place where it is supposed to be?
Oh, so my brother, Civic, I can give you an example. The period of budget framework, the budget making process of Kampala. The council may bring the key priorities in which they think that it will change the face of Kampala. But the onus is on the minister to cut the budget of Kampala. What I'm trying to say, there is an authority council, but the powers are limited to decide which areas must be developed on the interest of Kampala. Two, when I talk about power struggle, my brother, you can agree with me. There is an office of the minister. which for them they think that it's above all the offices in Kampala. There is the office of the RCC and their deputies in 5 divisions.
Mm.
There is a Lord Mayor. There is division mayors and authority councillors. In my view, I would think that these leaders are voted by the people to represent them into the council. But it's very unfortunate. Comrade talked about centralization and decentralization. All the powers are centralized. I told you that the office of the president, all the Kampala affairs are handled in that office. So when you look about all those issues affecting Kampala, pollution and many issues, you can look at the transport system in Kampala. Our neighbors, for example, in Kenya, they have developed a railway system, but you can look the congestion, the traffic jam, the air pollution, the whatever, the capital of Kampala. So I talked
So
about
thank you. And very importantly, you raise. So when you say all the powers are in the office of the president, in other words, you are telling us that whereas the people of Kampala have progressively chosen to entrust the city in the hands of the opposition at the lower level in the local government, they are actually doing that for nothing. They don't even have to vote for those leaders because, after all, they do not have power to execute anything on their behalf.
my brother said it's not only in Kampala. The problem I'm trying to mention is all over the country. Look at the new constituted cities in our country. They lack resources to run those cities. For example, you can find a city like Masaka, where I come from. They contribute some money to the budget. But when you look at the money which they give back to Masaka to develop, to do administrative work in Masaka, very little. We even asking ourselves, was it the right period of time these
Mm.
cities to get the city status? Because everything runs on resources. When you don't allocate enough resources to these cities, and you can agree with me, my brother, the people in those cities cannot access good services. So when I go back to Kampala, my brother, the issue is the power is centralized, my brother. We have many issues in our community, but when you can look away whereby you can access a grader, a tractor to try to work on the Malam road we have in the divisions of Kampala. You can apply in October and you get a tractor in December. But the capital city, we need to
Mm.
benchmark. We need to know how these cities has gone far to develop their cities. So I think there is a disservice to a full decade regime in the development of our city, my brother. Someone may look it political, but I know everything rises and falls on leadership. There's
Mm.
no goodwill in our leaders. There's no goodwill of the legislature. There's no goodwill of the executive to develop Kampala and other cities. If there was goodwill, we can be seeing some change. But as I speak now, my brother, there is no change in Kampala. Even when you bring a visitor like Comrade said, at night, you cannot convince him that Kampala is the capital of Uganda. When you bring a visitor during the rainy season, it will be hard for you to convince that visitor that this is the capital of Uganda. When you see the flooding everywhere, how garbage is poorly managed, and even other sectors. So, I don't know, but when I talk about there's a leadership crisis, there must be goodwill from the leaders to develop this city. My brother, you can agree with me. The taxes people of Kampala are contributing to the national budget. They deserve
Mm.
more than what they are receiving today. Even people are trying to ask themselves the reason of paying taxes. For example, there is an amendment in the property tax. There is a clause whereby that tax for property rate will be reserved to help people in collecting garbage, for example, in ghetto communities. But there are concessionaire companies in Kampala, in Nabugabo, Homuki, and other companies. But when you look at the money they charge people of Kampala to collect garbage, extremely too much money for that people for the
Yes,
people
and you see,
to collect
maybe
garbage.
very importantly,
To,
because you raised that issue,
to my
and
brother,
it's very
it
important, if
looks
you allow me.
it looks unfair. The whole institution of KCCA failing to access, failing to get those trucks to clean the city. Even you can ask yourself, what is the capital authority giving back to the community? I heard that the KCCA are preparing for the carnival. What will be the essence? What will be the importance to the people of Kampala by organizing the carnival? So, because I personally have tried to travel to different countries, but when you see how other countries have developed their cities, is a big problem in Uganda, my brother. Look at Rwanda.
All right, thank
Rwanda
you.
might have different problems. Rwanda might have some problems, but when you look at the smartness in the city, Rwanda is far better than Uganda. Look at Nairobi. Look at Tanzania. So I don't know what happened to Uganda, my brother. But we deserve better. We need a smart, clean city to see that we can change the face of Kampala, because Kampala is the face of Uganda. When it's purely managed, there's no way we can move in that line, my brother. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ibra. But before I let you go, you quickly mentioned the issue of the monies that are collected from traders, and you hear that KCC has the mandate to collect garbage from around the city, and it has a few trucks on the roads that do collect this garbage, and they also have staff that do the sweeping. But you also have the companies you talk about, Nakivubo, Updeal, Home Clean, which is about 3 or 4 companies, and they also collect money from traders. For example, you will hear traders tell you that every shop pays anything between 20,000 to 50,000 per month to these companies to collect the garbage. So who actually is supposed to collect garbage in Kampala, and who determines the price traders are supposed to pay? In any case, are they supposed to pay these companies to collect the garbage, or it is a mandate of the KCCA?
So thank you so much, my brother. When you look at the exploitation from those concessionaire companies, it's absurd. It reached an extent, it was reached an agreement whereby KCC as an institution clearly stated that they don't have the capacity to buy those garbage trucks. You can imagine, my brother, a whole institution, a government entity of KCCA cannot afford to buy trucks, but left the issue of garbage into hands of the individuals. The owners of these companies are the one who is in charge to determine the price, the money to charge from the people of Kampala, to take from the traders and households in Kampala. So you can look how garbage is poorly managed. So even when you go deep into these companies to audit their contracts, there are many illegalities on how they got contracts to collect the garbage in Kampala, my brother. Two, the issue of garbage have been disturbed in Kampala, because when you don't manage garbage, there's no way you can manage the drainage, because the same garbage which is poorly managed would be the same garbage to be spread into the drainage in our city. So, my brother, the issue of garbage is wide. We have been getting some investors from different countries promising to manage garbage, but there is no success. Look what happened in last year, the other year.
All right, thank you so much, Ibra, for that. You've already tried to explain for us that issue, and it is an underlying problem we keep seeing in the city. But good luck. I come back to you. Yes, it's been a minute. Earlier, you spoke about the media and how it has portrayed the different responsibilities and how it tells us that local government has no duty to play in this one. But broadly, what should be the role of the media in trying to see that these issues get resolved? But two, the citizens, the residents of the city. I think about a month or two ago, we saw that there is someone was captured on TV with these tukutukus full of garbage and dumping it in a drainage channel. And you would wonder what this person is actually looking at. So what should be the role of citizens, the media, in making sure that the city is run well? And of course, the very many wrongs that are there, how can they be corrected?
Well, the media is supposed to show us this city, taking us to the city, so that we see what we have. During COVID, I saw some drones, taking us around, showing us how the city was empty, fine. But also the media can also take us to other cities. At Civic Space TV, you can also maybe do a show in Kigali or whatever. And then, as the citizens, maybe we shall wake up and say, we are done in sleeping in the gutters. Yes. I can assure you, if there was a speed train that goes back to Kampala, where I come from, and does like a 1 hour or 2 hours, I wouldn't, if it is called the city anyway. But we are just in gutters. Now, for me, where the media is, because you see, every time you watch, okay, start from a gutter dust or something like that. So, one the things, well, they had, but okay, fine. Watch these other news, big TVs, so and so. It's about individuals. How about us? And for example, there's always a report that should be made. For example, after the election, how many times did you cover as a media station? How many times did you cover the different presidential or political parties for fairness or what? So, have you ever seen the media telling us how they cover the 5 different divisions of Kampala? I would be interested to know in Nakawa, where I sometimes reside, to know how does it. You remember there was that fight between Nigeria and Nansana, those things, eh? There used to be on social media and people tell us in our place, find where has the media come out to show that Rubaga division, Maki, Kawempe, all this. Maybe we even want to know how much of these divisions the council is talking about, how they contribute a lot of tax. So which division contributes more tax? Which division has, even in terms of living? For example, when you're in the US, you read on some of these websites, they tell you now California is doing badly. At this state, things have gone down, and it's saving crossing. Now, for me, which division is better than the other? So, for me, I criticize the media, even where I am. That as you tell us about individuals who are going to do what, how many years have gone by? Let me tell you what. There was a time when councillors of NRM dominated that council. The problem persists. Saving of, he's talking of money. The last council, government bought 3 trillion for roads. Do you know what failed it? People who wanted contracts, everybody had to answer that. We went through an election, the wave came. When the wave comes, of course, the contractor now has lost. Whoever he gave the money has gone, has been, the people have removed him. When did it take us? How long did it take us to have contractors on these roads? You remember the debate. the thing was, you know, industrial area, at least now, you can move around and say, talk of Minister of Internal Affairs around works from Electoral Commission to Golovi to moves here. At least there is some hope. But they had 3 trillion, which was almost going to make how many years? So even for me, why I refuse to be another citizen is because I have information. It is always what goes in my pocket than what is there for us. And so for me, so the citizens, let me end with the citizens. If we should be beaten Chiboko, which is us. Okay, there is the man who took the one you mentioned. How about here in Mutungo, where I saw after a storm, in the storm, somebody picks casasio, cabbage, open sewage in the road, and it was not one home. You could see. I never had the camera to take it, but for me, if sometimes you are like, should they create another city and we just move out? Yeah. So us citizens must also
You see,
know.
good luck.
Yes.
If you allow me, there has been a conversation around relating to that particular issue, and people are saying perhaps this is the kind of city that can work for our people, especially that when you look at many of the residents of the city, Ibra here is a councillor in Kasubi, the slum, and many of the people are not very much educated. Many of the people are not very much exposed to how things run out there in the different cities across the world. And they say, maybe this is the structure that will actually work for our people. And until our people change to become of a different quality, maybe then we can think about organizing the city at that particular standard. How do you respond to that?
Beautiful. This place I'm talking about is in the upper scale of Mutungu. It is not the ghetto. These people don't have. People have built homes. They have not connected them to the sewage. So when it rains, they open. It's an open secret. Everybody knows it. So even us, we have you been in a vehicle and you see people throwing away kavera or bottles after drinking, and you wonder why can't the person put that in a vehicle, delivers it where he's going, and therefore for me, yet those who move. I had Councillor Ibra talk of benchmarking. When Seya, the late Sebagara was mayor, I accompanied the all the mayors of Uganda at the time, up and down all the structures, and Kampala particularly brought everybody. I was still in Kabale when they reached Kabale. We were asked, the media from our place, to be the one to accompany the leaders in Uganda. They went benchmarked. When they came, what happened? Are we watching movies on TV that? So for me, all that has failed. And I want to say this, Phil, that the leaders we are going to vote in this coming election should be leaders who will not wait for allowances. So, for example, I would ask a question. Ebola, if he has been a councillor for the last 5 years, did he call the media in his place to say, we have failed to work on ABCD? This is my area. We have tried, I have done this, and I have failed. Because when you fail, there are 2 things. You either resign or you find a solution. Because, you know, the people of Kampala, you tell them that those in the ruling government are thieves. So we are like, okay, let's try those in the opposition. The opposition, when they come, you ask the question, what is not changing? Should we have a Mzungu? And for me, and for sometimes I'm like, maybe if we had Mzungu run this country, maybe just see you in this year. I'm disappointed, very disappointed. Yesterday I was at immigration. We could not. Power was on surging. The network went off. I mean, I was in a meeting, you saw me. I left in the evening when I was very tired. So I'm asking, what should we do in order to have people who will make things work? And then lastly, I want to ask, why is it that people build good homes? They paint them very well. They have good cars. They go and wash them. But just check their neighborhoods. And therefore, so for me, the media should help us expose us, the Ugandans. I can tell I've gone in vehicles and I see people. There's a family I came and parked near. I said, sir, your children are throwing things in the road. But the man who was using all the meters to drive, he said, oh, sorry, I had not seen. It starts with us. It ends with us. And so for me, even if they give them those ones, even if they give them trillions, I doubt.
Mm.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much. Quite painful. And I normally tell the story of how one time we were driving behind a ministerial convoy. And now I do not know that it was a child in the convoy, but suddenly an empty bottle of water came from the vehicle, which is supposedly should be occupied by a minister, and that bottle was thrown through the window to the road. And for me, that was what marks. I mean, if it was a minister in that convoy and they did that, then you don't know what you can say. But largely so, this is a challenge that prevails in our community. And colleagues, as we get to the conclusion of our conversation, I see we have just a few minutes to close. Ibra, what is the way forward? How do we move forward, and how we are going to an election? Whom should the people of Kampala trust to transform this city into a city that serves them? Yes, Ibra.
I came to understand that their problems matter because we have tested and tried for the sitting government for the last 4 decades to see that we can have a better country, but we have failed. We have not moved to see that the people of Uganda, the people of Kampala, and other cities in the country get better services. So to me, as I mentioned before, my brother, everything rise and falls in leadership. We need we need leaders of goodwill to see that they can improve the standards of our people. Today, my brother, I have not talked about the schools, the government schools we have in the city. I have not talked about the government hospitals we have in the city. Look at Kawempe, Chirudu, and other hospitals are the worst hospitals we have in the city, yet are the government hospitals. Today, I have not talked about the development, the welfare of our people. So, the issues of Kampala, as the leadership of the National Inter Platform, we are in campaign. We are in the campaign trail. Today our president is going to digest our manifesto to the Ugandans because the last time we are launching our manifesto, but we got an opportunity today to see that we can explain the manifesto of the new government coming into power. So we think that we need we need leadership to see that they can handle the matters of Kampala, my brother. As NUP, this time round we came with a Lord Mayor, a complete Lord Mayor, because the top of leadership of Kampala, we need someone who is visionary on the development of the city. That's why we came with the engineer Ronald Walmezo so that he can put an impact on the development of Kampala, my brother. But for that issue, Kampala will not go far if the leadership doesn't have the goodwill in the developing of our city. But when you have leaders who can be accountable, patriotic in the essence, you see that the taxes of our people are accountable, are useful to the community. Comrade Goodluck talked about, have I ever had any press briefing or any opportunity to talk about the issues affecting my community? In my tenure as an area councillor, have used the media exhaustively is that we advocate the issue of Kampala. We had an issue of NEMA trying to take people's land in the name of wetland and so on. We had the issue of garbage. I've been talking about garbage since I started this journey of leadership. I've talked about the bad roads in our community. You can imagine the only Malam road, the only tarmac road I have in my community is the Hoima road. So other roads in my constituency are Malam. So all the issues I've been trying to use the voices we have so that we present not only in the council, even the media to get people's attention on how we can move better, my brother. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Semanda Ibra also, and good luck. Way forward. What do we do so that the city gets to improve to the standards we want to see it at?
Thank you very much. I really, for me, I gave up on the city. I really don't even know. If I was a voter here, I don't know if I would even waste my time to go and vote for any other person because they just, I don't know. I don't want to even take that line. But let them know that every other day we demand better. We can't as if we are sleeping in a forest. No, if we have, for example, I'm excited. I can't wait to see these new roads that have been worked on. I hope also the drivers maybe will also behave, this time around. And but so I saw the Nakivubo channel, which is also one other issue. I don't know whether it is right or wrong. Again, because you read, for those who are for, they say it will work. Those who are against will show it will not work. And therefore, we are just there, like we are doomed. Because when you, actually for me, the more I listen to people, the more you just want to run away. Sometimes even switching away off and you do your own things is better, because everybody comes with a strong opinion which shall work for you. And when they enter the power, when they enter those offices, I don't know what happens. There's a bang of corruption and money, and especially looking for money. And so the people of Kampala deserve more. But for me, last year as I end, I think there should be a migration. People should start migrating from this city. They should go to Hoima side there where there's oil. When Kampala ever becomes better, maybe people can start coming. But there is, apart from that express, Entebbe Express Highway, it is some iconic thing that you look at. I wish when they worked on the down there on the Proc Tower, I wish that thing that what is it called when you enter from Zambia, that upper
The
part
flyover.
of the flyover. I wish it was going like up to Najanankumbi, so that it really takes us. And because I always ask, why don't we have flyovers on these busy roads? Because if I'm going to Ruzira, if I'm going to Nansa or wherever, and I'm from the city, I've done my shopping, I no longer want to do any business down. Why can't I go on top on the flyover, go the other side of town, and so the security of Kampala. Me, when it comes to 7 and I'm still out, I'm very worried. Again, the lighting, the council has talked about, don't we deserve better lighting? And I hope the new roads, when they are worked on, some lighting will come. So for me, those who think we have a city should really pray hard. Thank you so much, Civic Space TV. And I'm so sorry for being emotional. But I will not give any mark to Kampala. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Good luck, Musimuzi, for those thoughts. And thank you so much, Semanda Ibra, also for your thoughts. Look, You see, looking at the Nakivubo channel, but largely the drainage and the sanitation of the city, it is a matter that should really be given a lot of attention. It should, if Kampala is to transform into actually a true city and one that is the image of our country, like the two of you have mentioned, then we should treat it as an ecosystem that should feed from the talents of engineering, environmental responsibility, community action, so that we're able to deliver the service and a city that actually serves us as we live and work in it. Thank you so much for your thoughts, and thank you so much for making time for the conversation. Thank you so much to you, our viewers, always of the community show, and indeed the wider Civic Space TV. Special thanks to the technical team, and indeed the Center for Constitutional Governance and all our partners who make sure we're able to gather and make a contribution to the growth and progress of not just the city, but our country and region. From us, I say thank you for being with us, and I shall see you next time.